Hey gardeners, what's up? It's your girl Hayes coming at you live from North Carolina. What I want to show you today is a quick and dirty way to string trellis your plants. If you have ever thought, I'd love to try this string trellising thing, I don't have the special materials, I don't have that special tomato hook thing, I don't know how to hook all that up, this video is for you. I'm going to teach you how to do it with whatever you have on hand. Seriously, if you know anything about me and my garden, something that we say a lot around here, country girls make do. This is not going to be your typical, everything looks perfect, you're gonna have everything in its place. This is just a way to show you, if you don't have all the appropriate materials, you can still make exactly what you need. I'm gonna show you how. When most people think of string trellising, they usually think of something like this. Tomatoes often get string trellised, and a lot of people use these tomato hooks. These are great. They're fantastic tools, and they can really lead to a lot of great growth and stability in plants that need a ton of support, just like tomatoes. However, who has extra tomato hooks lying around their house? Not me. I don't have extra tomato hooks lying around my house. I've never had a tomato hook lying around my house. I had to buy all of those. They work. I really like them. It's a great product. I'll link to those below. But I ran out because they come in packs of 12, and that was great. And then my tomatoes put out suckers and I need a lot more. So I bought more. And then I had some other tomatoes need trellising, and I realized I had some kind of support above it. I'll show you. So here I have several tomatoes growing in a raised bed, and I started trellising this with some of those tomato hooks, but I ran out, like I said, and then they started throwing out suckers. So what's a girl to do? So for this, you are going to need two things. You are going to need some kind of string. Any kind of string is fine. You're going to need some kind of cutting implement. I've got a pair of snips. I've got some sisal twine. You are also going to need something to affix it to. Let me show you how I do it. So over here I have a couple little zucchini plants that I want to string trellis. I've never string trellised zucchini before, but the only zucchini plants I have that the squash vine borers haven't gotten this year have been grown vertically. I've been clipping them to canes, but I want to try doing it with string. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my string, I'm going to make sure that it's long enough to go down to the base of the plant and then up to my support, over to where I want the other one, and then about the same. That's how much length I need. So I'm gonna just do a little extra, better too much than too little. And I'm gonna cut it. Everything's wet here. Nothing goes quite right when it's wet. This is so easy. I'm gonna fold my twine in half. Then, when you find the loop, so you've got the two ends together over here, so you just literally have your twine folded in half. I'm gonna come right above my plant onto this hoop. This is just a PVC that I have tucked into my garden bed. You can use anything. A trellis, a few sticks that are TP'd over. I'll show you another way to do it in a minute. So I take my loop end. Again, this is so simple, you're gonna be like, this isn't even a trick, this is just obvious. Loop is up. I'm pulling both ends through, pulling it tight. That's pretty much gonna stay for the moment. I'm gonna let one end hang there. This other one, I'm gonna wrap around. I have a cane sticking out there. And I'm gonna wrap it around again over here. And then I'm gonna let this end hang down. And now I'm gonna show you how I clip my plants to those strings. Now I am using a product called the Tomato Clip. The cool thing about these is that this part can clip shut over string, and then this part clips onto the plant itself. I will also show you how to do this without a tomato clip. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gently going to wind the string around my zucchini's main stem. So I really just want the main stem. So it's got a little loop there. Then gonna make sure that the string is right in there so that when I close it, that's it. It's trellised now. Gonna do the same thing to the other one. This one is honestly too short even to wind around it. So I'm just gonna clip it right in, and it's gonna grow up, and then I'll be able to either keep clipping it or just wind it around. I'll show you another example. So here's another example. This is a string that I did the exact same thing to. This one is hooked into a trellis, and this sucker is huge. I don't want to break it off. I don't trim off my suckers because I have a really long growing season. If you have a super short growing season, it can sometimes make sense to trim off all of your suckers so that your tomato just focuses on putting out the fruit from the one main stem. Where I live, I have so much pest and disease pressure here in North Carolina, where it's super, super sunny and rainy all the time at the same time. That's always fun. That the fewer wounds I introduce into my plants, the better they function. So I've just hooked up another string, and I'm just going to, again, wind it around this stem. I have a long growing season, like I said. I won't get a frost until maybe October, probably November, honestly, sometimes even December. So I've got time. They can produce a little more slowly, and if they wind up producing a lot more fruit, great for me. I love tomatoes. So I'm just gonna wind it around and around. And I don't need to go any farther down than this, because as you can see, this is where it comes off of the main stem. So by doing this, I'm just giving it a little bit of support so that this sucker doesn't hang or fall over when it's trying to make me fruit. And I'm always gonna try and do it right under where another branch comes off, because that gives it kind of something to cling to here. So now this sucker is supported. So this one I string trellised, but quite a while ago, and now it's kind of flopping over. I have two options here. One, I could use another tomato clip it up to the string again. Two, and this is what I'm gonna do, because I like to save my clips, I'm just going to very gently wind the string around the stem. I don't want to get too close to the fruit cluster that's forming, or the flowers now, but they will be fruit. I'm good at this. I don't break the leaves. And then now see, it's supported all the way to the top. So you might be saying, Hayes, that's great, but I don't have any trellises. I don't have any archways. Do I have to go get PVC pipe to set that up? Do you have any sticks? Classic me, I'm gonna show you how to do it with sticks. I trimmed a tree not that long ago. I have some sticks. I'll show you. So I've got this fabric grow bag. I've got some good soil in it. I'm gonna wedge a stick into the side right here. Make sure it's all the way down. I'm gonna wedge a stick in the other side. I bet you saw that coming. Make sure that's all the way down. Wow, pretty good so far. Here's my twine I dropped earlier. Here's my snips. How long do we want this? long enough. There we go. What we're gonna do first, I'm gonna tie these together. Do a square knot. Now I'm just gonna kind of do some things that I think will probably help. I'm looping it around and around. Seems fine. I probably could have just made this one longer and not had to do a whole other one, but you don't have to be perfect at everything you do. You just have to do it. If you plant something and it's not the right dates, if it's, we might have one more frost, or we might not have enough time, plant it anyway. It's one thing if you're going and getting super expensive plants from the store. It's another if you're starting from seed and it's like, all right, start a few now. Again, I've doubled it over. Just gonna go up here, loop it through, pull that taut, boom. Now I can string trellis anything right into this grow bag. You might be saying to yourself, but Hayes, you just showed me how with a tomato, sometimes you need to string trellis a tomato sucker up in a different direction. But with this, you can only go in one direction, up and down. That's my issue. That's why I don't do this with cucumbers. That's why I don't do this with squash, because I want them to be able to have more than one. Guess what? I have a secret weapon, and it's called a third stick. Let me show you how it works. I'm gonna put my third stick right here. Wow, it's a good thing I still have all of that extra string here. It's almost like I planned it. I didn't. Just gonna wrap this around. I was not a very good Girl Scout. I did not learn a lot of knots. Oh no, it's wobbly. It'll be fine. If it's not, add more string. There's probably way, way more efficient ways of doing this. But the best thing I ever did for my ADHD personally was stop caring if there's a perfect way to do things and just start doing things, whether it's the exact perfect way or not. Do I sometimes have plants fall over? Yeah, but I have more stay up. And do you know how many would have fallen over if I'd never tried? 0, because I wouldn't have any plants on the ground. So my whole way of securing things is to just keep tying them, and eventually they will stop being wobbly. It has always worked for me because I just don't stop until it's done. So now I have this third stick. Guess what I can do? String one more from here, one more from here, boom. You can do 3 in the exact same little cloth bag from the exact same thing, and all you needed was 3 sticks. For me, this is still kind of wobbly. I would put more string, but again, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing, wrapping string around it until it's done. Would you look at that? Another example. I've got a cucumber vine headed off this trellis. I could just fix it to the same trellis as everything else, but honestly, it's taking up quite a lot of space. I've got my string. I'm just gonna loop it around this trellis. Through the loop. There we go. And now I can actually use both of these. I'm sure I'll have another tomato sucker or cucumber vine that wants to trellis up this. This one, just gonna wrap it around. Told you I'd show you how to do it without a tomato clip. This one's already making a little cucumber right here. Please, calm down. I can't eat the ones I have. And honestly, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you up close. Okay, so I have this all looped around, and then I am just going to, I'm gonna tie it. I don't know if you can see in this jungle, but I am literally just gonna tie a little loop around the vine. Cucumbers are super, super easy to string trellis because they'll grow up anything. So now this, again, you can always just come and wrap it around. And now that's gonna grow up and it doesn't need to be attached to the rest of the trellis. So in the end, what's the best trellis for you? It's the one that will get your plant off of the ground. It's the one that'll give you the most support, and it's the one that you have access to. For me, I never don't have access to a loop of twine and some snips. I usually have a tomato clip in my pocket. I do right now, but not always, and I didn't always, but you can always find a way to do what you need to do. If you want to know more ways of doing quick and dirty trellising, let me know. If you want to know more ways that I grow my garden on a budget that I think most gardeners would consider very, very modest, let me know. This is the kind of thing I love doing, and if you like this kind of content, again, let me know, comment below, subscribe, like, and let's grow some stuff together.